but you probably are familiar with this judge. Note how Judge David in Louisiana mentioned in this case due process. What's this all about? To sort of, whet your appetite? Well, the article here also mentions the ICE policy of not detaining pregnant women or women who have just given birth postpartum. The ICE so-called policy rests on an illegitimate predicate, of course. The ICE policy rests on the idea that ICE can constitutionally or ethically exist in the first place. So here's the headline. Court crushes Trump ICE's detention of new mother. Okay, so here it is. This is from the Raw story. A federal judge, David Joseph, sorry. A federal judge appointed by President Donald Trump on Tuesday ordered ICE to release the nursing mother of a 6-month-old from ICE custody, according to reports. And hopefully people won't get the missing the forest for the trees thing here to look at the specifics of this without realizing that virtually everything about this is unethical, immoral, and anti-constitutional, right? So, and again, the ethical and moral aspects of it are different than even the constitutional aspects of it. The constitutional aspect has a bit of an ethical dimension to it, which is that these people promise to abide by those rules, but it itself is an unethical imposition on us. The ethical part of it is you have a right to be left alone, and so did this woman. Judge David C. Joseph of the United States District Court for the Western District of Louisiana ruled that Karina Alvarez San Juan, who has 3 other minor children who are U.S. citizens, was detained in violation of ICE's policy against detaining most pregnant or postpartum mothers. She was detained on May 6th. In other words, she was kidnapped and taken to ICE's South Louisiana Processing Center in Basile, Louisiana on May 9th. San Juan argued that she was being unlawfully detained and that, quote, her bond hearing was canceled and her emergency motion denied without explanation, violating due process, end quote. Judge Joseph called on ICE to provide additional information, and the agency filed a response saying it had no further evidence. Well, Kyle Cheney, senior legal affairs reporter for Politico, said he gave ICE a chance to defend the detention. And of course, they didn't do it, right? But, there's the Hannah Dugan thing. Oh, let's go with this. I didn't even realize this was here. This is great. Okay, so we'll skip this ad. We'll go with the Hannah Dugan breaking story. This is fantastic. I like it. Okay, let's see if the sound is sufficient. Okay. Wow, this is great. I'll look this up too, and I have no problem, doing a search for it. Here we go. Okay.
Former Milwaukee County judge found guilty of helping an illegal immigrant in her courtroom escape ICE agents.
A federal judge today instead fining Hannah Dugan $5,000. 12 News' James Stratton joining us live outside the federal courthouse tonight. And James, Dugan spoke for the first time today.
Deanna Blake, all eyes on Hannah Dugan as she spoke and addressed the court for the very first time inside the federal courthouse, telling Judge Lynn Edelman that she was simply trying to do her job that day.
Ms. Dugan, what do you have to say to Milwaukee County residents?
Offering no comment minutes after she learned that she would be spared prison time. Federal Judge Lynn Edelman instead issuing former Judge Hannah Dugan a $5,000 fine. A jury found her guilty of felony obstruction for showing undocumented immigrant Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney to a private jury door in the Milwaukee County Courthouse last April. The Trump administration shining a light on the case when FBI Director Kash Patel posted a photo of her being led from the courthouse in handcuffs. While Dugan stayed quiet after her sentencing, she did speak in the court.
We get a little commercial, so
your cells take on oxidative stress daily.
Okay, there we go. Very good. We'll go back just a little bit so that it all has its continuity. And there we go.
And after her sentencing, she did speak in the courtroom where cameras are not allowed, telling the court, "I've been cast both as a scofflaw and a hero. I am neither. I am a public servant who was just trying to do my job," adding, "My acts are not done with any malicious intent or to advance any political advocacy." Two people also spoke on her behalf, Father Greg O'Mara, a friend and Marquette Law School professor, and former Supreme Court Justice Janine Geske, both sharing the impact she's made outside of the courtroom.
What I shared with the judge was not her legal career, which is outstanding, but her personal attributes. Hannah is somebody who cares about the poor, the disadvantaged, and the vulnerable in this community.
Judge Edelman saying she appreciated the wrongfulness of her conduct, but this is nevertheless 2 minutes of conduct of someone who has otherwise dedicated her life to service. He concluded that she would not serve prison time, adding that losing her job and being a convicted felon is a severe punishment.
She's lost so much throughout this process. The collateral consequences to her were great, and we appreciate that the judge took that into consideration whenever he sentenced her to a fine only in this case.
So, James, in terms of what's next, Dugan's defense says they do plan to appeal.
Saying they plan to file that and they appreciate, or rather they will be successful on the appeal. They look forward to sharing those arguments. By law, they have 14 days to issue that notice that they will file that appeal in this federal case, Deanna.
All right, James Stratton reporting live outside the federal court.
All right. Thank you. That is great to see. And she got a lot lighter sentence than I expected she would get. That is a positive. She shouldn't have been found guilty at all. And because, of course, there was no federal purview for them to go in there. And I want to show you another manifestation of this. Immigration police state versus federalism. Check this out, everybody. This is from WBZ, the Bristol County Sheriff's Office in Massachusetts. As you got it, the ICE agents continue to invade Massachusetts, even though the governor doesn't want them there. And here, the Bristol County Sheriff's Office is saying, we have our orders according to state statute. We are not supposed to assist these ICE agents unless they are going after or trying to apprehend someone for a real crime. And here is some of this information.
Bristol County Sheriff says that it's ICE is using social media in hopes of intimidating him into breaking state law.
He's now planning to raise the stakes. WBZ's Louisa Moeller shows us how.
I welcome ICE suing us. I welcome it. We will win this 10 out of 10 times.
Bristol County Sheriff Paul Haru didn't hold back his true feelings in a press conference accusing immigration officials of intimidation. It stems from a case involving Jose Raul Martinez Alvarado. The 40-year-old was arrested in June after New Bedford police say they found him in this triple-decker in an apartment with residual cocaine in plain view. He was charged with possession of a large-capacity firearm, carrying a firearm without a license, and resisting arrest. Then he was sent to Bristol County Jail, where he posted his $1,000 bail and was let go. He was picked up by ICE in July, ICE posting on X that he was illegally in the U.S. from Honduras, and that Bristol County House of Correction released him without honor.
Yes, we have this commercial. We'll go past this real quick here. And luckily, I was able to skip past this pretty fast. Those people who want to get Nutrafol or whatever this stuff is for hair loss, I guess, you can check that out at your leisure.
An ICE detainer.
They were trying to bully us. They were trying to intimidate me.
Haru contends he cannot honor detainers since Massachusetts law prevents local law enforcement from holding someone solely on the basis of their immigration status.
We're not allowed to hold somebody past when the bail is posted.
But he took his distaste for ICE a step further, saying he has no intention of working with them at all.
Again, I'm not going to notify ICE because ICE routinely violates people's civil rights.
And I can tell you just from leading the agency at the highest level that a lot of it just wasn't true.
Todd Lyons, who led ICE over the last year until leaving the job in the spring, says ICE has made many communities safer.
You look at the number of public safety threats we have arrested, right? If you look at the number of TDA gang members, the amount of known suspected terrorists that ICE removed last year.
Unbelievable. The so-called amount of suspected terrorists that ICE removed last year. They'll define terrorist any way they want to. Lyons knows very clearly that they have caused incredible disruption inside localities, and ICE is responsible for now over 50 people in their custody dying or being directly murdered by ICE agents. So let's not kid ourselves. Unbelievable.